story, the hero was a Roman goddess named Juno. Even though she had not done anything heroic, it was told from her perspective. She didn't necessarily save the day, but she went on an adventure. She left her ordinary world and went on a journey to Earth. Jupiter, the shadow or villain in the story was Jupiter. He was the husband of Juno and he was cheating on his wife with Io, the cheater. After I was captured, he was bothered that she was constantly suffering, so he sent Mercury to slay Argos of the 100 monster and rescue Io. In this story, the hero that made Juno go on her adventure was Io. I was a healer and she was having an affair with Jupiter, the husband of Juno. Juno became really suspicious and delivered Io off to Argos to watch closely. Argos in the story, Argos was the loyal retainer. He was the 100-eyed monster that assists the hero Juno. He worked for Juno, imprisoned and suffered Io. She was also a master of Jupiter and was also considered as the rival of Juno in the story. Once upon a time, there was a story about Juno and her rivals. Juno one day perceived it suddenly grow dark and immediately suspected that her husband had raised a cloud to hide some of his doings that would not bear the light. She brushed away the cloud and saw her husband on the banks of a glassy river, with a beautiful heater standing near him. Juno suspected the heater's form concealed some bare nymph of mortal mold as was in the case, for it was Io, the daughter of the river god Inachus, whom Jupiter had been flirting with, and when he became aware of the approach of his wife had changed into that form. Juno joined her husband in noticing the heater praised its beauty and asked to have it as a gift. What could Jupiter do? He could not without exciting suspicion, so he consented. But the goddess was not yet relieved of her suspicions, so she delivered the heater to Argos to be strictly watched. Now Argos had 100 eyes in his head and never went to sleep with more than 2 at a time, so that he kept watch of Io constantly. He suffered her to feed through the day and at night tied her up with a wire rope around her neck. Juno was troubled of beholding the sufferings of his mistress, and calling Mercury, told him to go on this much Argos. Mercury made haste, but his wings slippered on his feet, and cap on his head took his leap, producing one, and leaped down from the heavenly towers to the earth. Mercury sat down, talked, and told stories to accurate and played upon his pipes his most soothing strains, hoping to allow the watchful eyes to sleep, but unfortunately it's not working in Argos. Among other stories, Mercury told him how the instrument in which he played was invented, and before Mercury had finished his stories, he saw Argus' eyes all sleep as his head nodded forward on his breast. Mercury with one stroke cut his neck through and trembled his head down the rocks. But the vengeance of Juno was not yet satiated. She sent a gunfly, determined Isle who fled over the whole world from its pursuit. To let Jupiter intercede for her upon his promising not to pay her any more attention, Juno consented to restore her form. The cursed hairs fell from her body, horns shrunk after her eyes grew narrower, her mouth shorter, half the fingers came instead of hooves to her forefeet. In fine, there was nothing left of the heater, exactly her beauty. Callisto was another maiden who excited the jealousy of Juno. "I will take away the beauty with which have captivated my husband," said the goddess as she turned her into a bear. One day, a used spider as he was hunting, she saw him and recognized him as her own son, now grown a young man. She stopped and felt inclined to embrace him. As she was about to approach, he alarmed, raised his hunting spear, and was on the point of transfixing her when Jupiter, beholding, arrested the crime and snatching away both of them, placed them in the heavens as the great and little bear. Juno was engaged to see her rival to Saturn, honor and hasten to ancient Tapas and Oceanus, the powers of ocean. Why should anyone hereafter tremble at the thought of offending Juno, when such rewards are the consequences of my displeasure? See what I have been able to effect, and I forbade her to wear the human form. She is placed among the stars. Do my punishment result, extend my power, better that have resumed her former shape as I permit you to do. Perhaps he means to marry her and put me away, Juno stated to the powers of ocean's outrage.